Being unemployed has felt a bit more complicated than I was expecting because there are parts of it that I genuinely like, and then other times I feel stressed or guilty or like I should be doing something else with my time. Hi, I'm Adeline, and today I wanted to talk about unemployment and being in an in-between stage because I feel like a lot of other people are also in this boat right now. And before we get into it, I just want to make a very quick disclaimer because I know that unemployment can look and feel a lot different for people depending on the situation that you're in. So I am in no way romanticizing, glorifying, or encouraging being unemployed. I am only sharing my own experience that I have had during this time. And I am aware that I am in a very fortunate position despite being unemployed. So I left my job almost a year ago now because I was just ready for something new. I wanted a different job. I had moved in with my boyfriend, so the drive back and forth to work was really too long. And I was just ready for new experiences, new scenery, and I wanted to get some other skills under my belt. And there was really nothing inherently wrong with my job. I just really felt like I was at that point in my life where I was ready for something new. And I did actually have a part-time temporary job back at the end of last year, but I ended up not going full-time with that. So now I'm back in the same boat that I was before. So like I said, there are genuinely some parts of being unemployed that I like because I am like a slower person. I like doing things at my own pace and not being rushed with things like getting up, going to work, going to the store, making dinner, and then only having a little bit of downtime at the end of the day. And I know that's just how life works when you have a job, but I genuinely feel like there is a big movement right now where people want to live more slow and more intentional and kind of getting out of the rat race. And that's not to say that I'm never going to get a job again or I'm going to keep myself in this space. I actively look for jobs in my area, DoorDash, and find other ways to make a little extra money. But I honestly like being able to take care of things or do things throughout my whole day and not feel so stressed about it. But obviously the flip side of that is also a lot of times I just feel like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my time? I need to be getting a job. I need to be doing this or that. And I think that's even common for people who do have jobs and people who do stay busy with things. And it just makes me wonder, like, where does that feeling originate from? Where are we getting these beliefs about ourselves? And maybe for some people, it's just the way that you grew up or comparing to others online, seeing other people have all of these successes or seeming like they are just always going and going. And it can make us feel like we aren't doing enough, even if you do feel fulfilled or you do feel like your time is meaningful. And there's also just like this pressure to feel like you have to justify what you're doing with your time. And if people ask you what you do for work and you're not working, of course that feels very awkward and not good because oftentimes that's how people like measure you in a way, or they're kind of like silently judging you, it feels like. And even if people aren't judging you or they are understanding, we judge ourselves, and it's really not a good place to feel stuck in. And I just find it funny that we celebrate unconventional seasons when they look impressive. People who travel the world or live abroad or like find themselves in a beautiful place. But if that same kind of in-between season happens at home, it can be interpreted as being lazy. And I just find it interesting because a lot of us always wish that we had more freedom or more time. And when someone actually has a slower season, it can be easy to judge them on the outside. But why does rest or exploration have to be aesthetic in order to be acceptable? And it can be hard to find meaning in these times where you don't have a meaningful job, because a while ago I did feel very adrift, or like I just didn't really have a purpose. Like I was just kind of going through my days doing whatever. But I kept having the thought that I should make a YouTube channel and just talk about things that I feel like aren't talked about very widely, and hopefully helping others feel less alone. And I like having something to work on, which I didn't before. And so now I always have a project to be working on, or ideas to be having, or reflections that need to be made. And since I've started here, not only do I feel more fulfilled, but I've also been learning a lot about myself. But the question that I keep coming back to, and I'm sure a lot of other people also grapple with, is, am I really growing or am I just spinning my wheels? Like, am I wasting my time, right? And some days I feel at peace, and others I feel like I'm avoiding the next step, which I know that I'm really not, because I am actively looking for jobs and doing productive things. but it's just hard when you're not on the same path as other people. But I think it's really important to follow your own path and to support and learn from other people, but to not compare yourself to them, because everybody is always on their own path. And even if somebody is in a situation or a space that you wish that you were in right now, you never know what their life looks like down the road, or if you would have wanted to wish that. And I know that it can be really hard when you're in this in-between phase, but it's really important to follow your own intuition and to not force yourself into something just because you feel pressure from other people or what society says. And I'm not using this as an excuse to avoid responsibility. I'm only saying to not lose yourself even more comparing to others or being so hard on yourself. So yeah, if you are also unemployed right now or are in between season in life, you are not alone. I always see people who are in the same boat, and I think it's really important to talk about it because all of these things can feel a lot scarier when you feel like you're alone. Just remember to take it easy on yourself, and just because you're in this season right now does not mean that you will be stuck there forever. Things are always changing, opportunities can come up, and things can change quickly for the better. And also, you are allowed to use this time to reconnect with yourself and to pay attention to what truly feels meaningful to you. What the heck? This is so random, but I have had Blown Away by Carrie Underwood, I think it is. But I have had that song stuck in my head for quite a bit. Like, it's popped in my head a couple times in the last like week maybe, and I have not listened to it since I was in like 6th grade. And I just picked up a DoorDash order and it was literally playing on the speaker. Like, that is so weird. I literally was like, what the heck? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to stick around. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.